I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to get your question answered on a future episode of We're From The Internet? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/question, tweet your questions at KevinSteve, email kevinsteve@gmail.com, or post them at facebook.com/KevinSteve, or even leave them in the comments for this episode.
Hi Kev, hi Steve, Rich Birch here. A dilemma for you. If you were offered £10 million but had to give away 10 years of your life, would you do it? There's no bartering, it has to be 10 years, you can't pro-rata it, and you'd immediately become 10 years older but have £10 million in your bank. Would you do it?
See, the problem old Rich Birch, the podcast voice, has given us there is he's saying there's no bartering. No discussion. Answer it right now. Forget this 10-minute nonsense. Give me an answer and hang up. So, would you do it? Yes. No.
Yeah.
You're trying to barter. Stop it. No discussion.
I would.
Would you? That would put you in your early 60s. What was it? 10 million for 10 years or a million for 10 years?
It was 10 million for 10 years.
10 million for 10 years.
And we can't say like 1 million for a year.
See, in my fantasy world that I live in, I'd like to think I could make more than £10 million over the next 10 years. So if I had to fast forward to age 42 now and wake up on my 42nd birthday with £10 million in my bank account, I'd be a little disappointed. Oh, I've only got £10 million. Bit of a waste of the last 10 years, wasn't it? Do I know? Do I feel like I've experienced the last 10 years?
I'd need to know whether I was conscious throughout those 10 years from everybody else's point of view. Whether I'm just getting like amnesia ray or something.
Or is it just you, fast forward, so it's still 2015, but you're now 50?
All right, that'd be interesting, because then I wouldn't miss anyone's lives or anything. We'd just all benefit.
Yeah, you'd just be older.
But if my kids, if I woke up and I was 10 years older and my daughter was 16 and my son was 12, that's the only...
And your other son was 7.
Yeah.
I'm calling you dad.
That'd be weird. But that's the only part that I think of as a downside. And I think
the whole having 10 years of your life taken away, dying 10 years sooner from your perspective?
About that?
I don't want to die 10 years earlier.
If you asked me this before I met my wife and had kids, I'd just think, do you know what? Jump forward 10 years.
Yeah, I think if I was still 25 or still 18, I'd be all over it, no problem at all. But I'm 32. This is going to put me into my early 40s. I'm going to be dying within a few years of that. I'm going to have 10 million quid and only have 6 months to enjoy it.
Because you can invest $500,000 of that into like a coach.
I'm an unhealthy man. I'm not making it to retirement.
Yeah, but you'd have had 10 years without unhealthy food.
No, because it's just like that.
Well, assuming you sleep in that time, assuming it's not just like that, like I assume your body will have gone cold turkey from everything unhealthy for 10 years.
What I would be quite happy to do is tell everyone I was 10 years older. So if you give me 10 million quid, I will have my birth certificate changed, my passport changed, my driving licence changed, and I will go around telling people I'm 42.
You said no bartering.
But let's be realistic here. He's saying no bartering. I don't believe he has the technology to age me 10 years overnight. So in a court of law,
thump you over the head and stick you in a cryogenics
in
machine.
a court of law, his argument doesn't stand up. Whereas my interpretation of the offer is that he's going to change all my documentation because it's the only way it's physically possible. So yes, Rich Birch, change my documentation. I expect my £10 million tomorrow. Thank you very much.
If I wasn't, obviously I'd be 10 years older because time had passed, but if he somehow just trapped me in a vacuum for 10 years and then I came out and it was 10 years in the future, I'd be okay to do that, but I'd probably want my family with me.
Here's another way then. Would you spend 10 years in prison for 10 million quid?
You wouldn't have to do anything
Or
illegal.
10 years in a coma?
10 years in a coma sounds right up my street. I was talking to my sister the other day saying, why doesn't the NHS offer 2-week comas, like chemical ones?
The NHS is already massively stretched and losing money.
Because, why don't they sell them? Because what I was thinking is a lot of people are just massively, massively fatigued. So if they just put you in a
Does a coma make you feel rested?
Oh, you're asleep, aren't
Do
you?
you get the benefit? Are you asleep though? Or you're just unconscious. You're not asleep, are you? I don't really understand what a coma is.
Well,
I've never really understood comas.
I just assumed they were being unconscious and your body in some sort of big repair, or just.
Do you have to be on a drip? I assume it's not like hibernation if you're a bear.
Well, what I was saying to her was I'd quite like to just be hooked up to a drip and knocked out for a couple of weeks. When I came round, my brain would have just sort of cleaned itself up because what made me think it was I was reading about how when you're asleep, some chemicals released into your brain that clears out all the endings and gets rid of all the proteins and sticks them into your lymph nodes and drains it all away. And I thought, well, if I had 2 weeks of just sleep, I'd probably be all right at the end of that. I'd feel quite good. Because that's coffee stops that happening and stuff like that. So, more sleep. Yay. So I just thought if I started selling comas, people come to my clinic, I put them on a coma drip. 2 weeks later, they wake up feeling great. That's going to sell like hotcakes, isn't it?
I don't know that you have the expertise to be able to offer this service at the moment.
But it's just an injection for comas, isn't it?
I don't know that that's a thing.
A
I
bit
don't
of
think there's a
Hawaiian
coma
meat-
injection. Do they just give you
put people in induced comas,
give you a
don't they?
load of morphine to knock you out?
No, well, I don't know. To be honest, it might be that, which would be
Just
awful.
make you spaced out, yeah.
All morphine addicts.
Exactly.
But if I just put everyone in induced comas and played Hawaiian music, they'd all just dream they're in Hawaii and just chill out.
But would you go into a 10-year coma for £10 million? Right now.
I think
if I said, right, here's the £10 million, it's on the table now, you can have it when you wake up from this 10-year coma, here's the needle. Are you having it?
See, if my wife's not there to ask, I think I'd just do it and apologise afterwards.
Right, open that cupboard. There's £10 million in there and a man with a needle.
Does she have the money while I'm in the coma, or does she only get it at the end?
Wouldn't you be, how gutted would you be
Well,
if you wake up and she spent it all on old Sheepdog Junior, the 7-year-old?
I'm
Would you expect her to wait for you while you're in your 10-year coma?
Yeah, I'd expect her to.
Or is she going to go off and get
be
her
at my
jollies
bedside.
from another sheepdog?
I think she would. She's not the sort.
Really?
She'd stick by
She'd
me.
get all lonely.
She'd be alright.
Your children would need a father. Your son's young enough to have a replacement. While the money man is in his coma and you come back in 10 years' time, no one remembers you. Like you never were. You wake up on another planet. Would you go on a space trip to Mars? I mean, how long does that take? 10 years, round trip, come back. You've been to Mars, here's your 10 million quid.
Might as well, eh? I mean, I can always fix it afterwards.
It's what afterwards?
Well, the family stuff.
Come in, shoot the new man.
Well, what I
Tell
mean
your
is,
children, right, you better have been recording in the last 10 years or I'm getting my slipper out.
if I come back and there's another man there, then I'll be saying to my wife, choose.
Give me my 10 million quid back.
Choose what you want to do. Oh, I obviously weren't that important to you. See you later.
I only wanted you for your 10 million quid and I got that when you're in your coma.
Yeah, because that was what she was thinking when she married me. But,
no one understands what she was thinking when she married you.
No, I don't.
That's about as realistic as any other option.
But, yeah, I think if someone walked in now and said you can't, no ifs, no buts, I think I'd err on the side of let's just do it. Because
Really?
I'd wake up, from my point of view, it'd be instant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You'd wake up, be told, yeah, we suffered a bit of hyperinflation in 2019. Here's your 10 million quid. You're not actually going to be able to buy a bag of crisps for it, but never mind.
Yeah, but I'd be the man who spent 10 years asleep. I don't know, I
think there's people who that happens to.
Yeah,
People would assume you were the fella out of Men in Black and you'd actually been fighting aliens for 10 years and pretending to be in a coma. You'd just been flashy thinged.
I just think I wouldn't be fussed. It'd be, 2025. I'd be on iPhone 12 and all of that stuff. I'd notice all the advancements. I'd be able to just watch all the different TV shows, read the end of Game of Thrones. That'd be finishing in about 10 years, won't it?
You'd wake up and, yeah, it never ended. The fella died.
Fine.
He was put in a coma for 10 million quid and never came back round.
But that'd be fine. At least I'd know I hadn't wasted 10 years on it.
Want an extra episode of We're From The Internet every week? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/bonus to get an exclusive weekly bonus episode 100% free.